Good everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today what I'm going to do, I'll be talking about how to expose a class as a REST service. Now, you need to be very careful when you try to build your own REST service. The reason why I'm saying so, right? If you're an architect, right, you should not be jumping onto to the option of writing the code to expose an API. You have to look around uh, first of all, why you wanted to expose an class as a REST service. Can we use existing APIs, right? And if the answer to the question is no, or if you can't use APIs, REST API, can you use SOAP, right? So that if the answer to the question is no, then yes, you can go for building class as a REST service. Okay, so I'll give you a very simple scenario. Say, for instance, I have a journal. I have a journal entry system, right? So the requirement is that we do have a journal API and where it includes the journal header and the journal details, right? Now, if you wanted to use an out-of-box API, you have to first call journal header first, and then based on that, then you have to call the journal items, right? Now, if you wanted to say, for instance, if you wanted to insert an entry to the journal, like I said, you need to create a header first. Then you need to get the header ID and assign to the details. Now, that means two calls you have to make, right? Now, if you wanted to combine everything in a one single process, then you can go for customizing your class as and exposing it as a REST service. It's pretty simple operation, right? So you just something you have to factor that right before you even recommending this approach. I don't think so. This should be the first approach to go forward, right? If you can do that, then existing API that should be your first choice, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you anyways how to expose a class as a REST service. So what we're gonna do with it very simple. That's account. I'll show you how to get 5 accounts using your HTTP GET. Okay, so now you might know, right? We have HTTP GET, HTTP POST, HTTP DELETE, right? So different. These are the HTTP verbs, which say, for instance, GET is for getting a record, right? So you say, okay, give me a list of say 5 accounts. So you can use that HTTP GET, and then if you wanted to post information. So what I'm going to do, I will say I will try to get an account with limit 5, just to explain it. And in the post, I'll create an account and a contact together. That explains it, right? So because if you wanted to create an account and contact together in the normal API, you have to call two APIs, right? First is account, then you have to call the contact, pass account ID, right? So we'll just make it simplified. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to do that in Developer Console. You're most welcome to do so in a Visual Studio Code. So you go to Apex class, so I would say account contact API, right? So I'll do this, okay, and all right, it's gonna take its own time. Sometimes, it yeah, it takes its own time. My apologies for that. I don't know why internet is pretty slow today. Just yeah, it's a it's funny though because I live in New Zealand, right? So internet to be slow, it's just a joke, but that's what it is. Okay, so um, now if you wanted to enable sharing rules, you need to put the bit sharing, right? So I mean, you can do that because it will keep into consideration the sharing option. By default, it's without sharing, but if you wanted to keep into consideration the sharing, then you need to use this one. So for now, I'm going to use it, and then we're going to use something called REST. I'm pretty sure you guys know all of this stuff because if you have done platform development one, then you should know by this time. If not, it's not really great. Okay, so I'm going to name the API here. So what I'll do, I'll say account, contact, yeah, and I'm just going to do this star. Okay, so this is great. And so what I'll do, I'm just going to create I'll test it once I create a HTTP method. Then it's easy for HTTP get. this is annotation. Hopefully it's correct. Then I'll do global static, yeah, list of accounts. I'm just gonna say get ACC account. I mean, right? Right. So what I'll do, I'm just gonna do return. So I'll say select name from accounts. Number 5. Right, and then this is cool. Right. Okay. So this is fantastic. Right. Let's test it. Okay. So what we do, we will go to the here and go here. I'm using a workbench. You can use Postman just to make it life easier. So what we do, we're just gonna do Apex REST. Uh, Hopefully this. Right. Okay. So this is how you test it, right? I mean, you can't use the S subject, which you normally use, right? The data services slash data slash version number slash S object slash account, right? So since we are exposing the class as a REST service, so you have to use Apex REST. Okay, that's cool. So the get works, fantastic, right? Now what we're gonna do, we will actually look at implementing the post, right? Because I wanted to post the data. So what I'll do, I'll just say HTTP post. So I'll say global static ID, create account, contact, right? Together. So I'll say put string, and I'll say a name, and I'll just say try, right? I just want to put catch exception ex, just put system.debug ex.get message, right? So we're going to do account a equals to new account, right? I'm just going to do so just going to do return no, yeah. A dot name equals to a name, right? I'm just going to do insert a. Now I'm just going to do contact c equals to new contact. Just say c dot count id equals to a dot id, right? C dot last name equals to a dot name, so a name, right? C dot first name equals to, I'll just put test. Just for the sake of it, right? So return a dot id. So what I'm doing is that, I understand the code looks crap. My apologies for that. This is not a production ready code. They're just an example, right? I mean, I don't like to do insert operation inside this. I prefer to create a handler. But, right, this is just to explain a very simple case scenario. Create an account and then create a contact and link it to it. That's pretty simple, right? That's all I wanted to do. So what I'll do, I'll go to here, the post, and I'll create a body here because obviously you need to pass the JSON, right? So what I'll do, I'll take this over here, hopefully, and this is the field name. I'm just gonna say, let's say what name we put. What's the name of the beer? What's the name of the beer I had last time? Let me think about it. I forgot the name of the beer I had last Saturday. Oh yeah, it's Tuborg. Yeah. Right. So Tuborg Green. I mean, I don't know if you. I mean, I had Tuborg Red a long time ago. 10 years ago in Tel Aviv. Not Tel Aviv, sorry, when I was in Masada, right? It's a pretty beautiful place. I mean, if you guys haven't been to Israel, you should. It's a pretty amazing country. Um, I mean, I'm a Jewish person, right? So for me, my association with Israel is natural. But I'm just saying, besides the fact that it's a great country. So I tried red Tuborg there, and I haven't seen red Tuborg in New Zealand. I mean, we get green, which is great, but I mean, I do know that it's not Israeli beer. It's a Danish beer, but it's a very nice beer though. But all right, sorry I digress. I get excited when I talk about beers. Okay, you just get execute. So right, just wait for it. All right. Interesting. My internet all of a sudden died. This is what I was talking about. I know what's going on. I mean, since morning, it's just been going crazy. Even at work, having a team meeting, it just dies off. And it just pisses me off, to be honest. Let's see if it worked or not. It might have run, so just let me look at it. What the heck? Uh, because obviously in 21st century, right, your internet shouldn't be this slow. We are not in the dial-up age. Um, all right, so it doesn't have anything, so we'll see, right, if it works this time. Um, so we said to work, right? Uh, right. Okay. All right. So that's created. Fantastic. Right. Okay. Let's look at it. All right. Tuborg is there, and let's see if we got a contact or not. Yay! We got test Tuborg. Right. So the first and last name. So this is fantastic, right? So that's what I was talking about. I mean, you can do um, um, to delete the. Um, you can use HTTP delete to delete the information as well. So which is pretty handy. So yeah, I mean, this is something I wanted to do, and if you wanted to update, right, you can do that using HTTP put. So that's another one. So like I said, right, I mean, use this wisely, right? Just don't use it just for the sake of it. If you can use an existing API, please stick to it. If you can't, if you think that this is the only option to go for it, go for it. If this is not the option, if you have a second choice, consider the pros and cons of using this one, right? Because if you're an architect, even if you're a developer, right? I mean, it becomes your responsibility just to understand, to look for it, why you need to use this one, because code needs maintenance, right? It's in heavy lifting stuff. I know that if you're a developer, you get tempted, you want to write code, that's fine, but you know, if at what cost, right? If you can do without writing a code, might as well go for that route, right? So that's pretty much I wanted to talk about, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday. Adios.